I haven't had a chance to do laundry since coming back from Comic-Con, so you're going to be seeing this Hogwarts shirt in most of the videos for May, and I'm not sorry about it because life is busy. But I am back and I am here with my April wrap-up. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I am back. I took a small break in April. There's a lot of different changes. I changed jobs. Unfortunately, I was getting like no hours at the hospital, so I had to find a full-time job because I was making nothing I could live off of at that point. So I had to take a chance and find a full-time. Thankfully, a friend I graduated with from the MOA, or the Medical Office Assistant program, had an opening at her clinic and I was able to get in. I am the phone girl at a new medical clinic and I love it because I literally have an office to myself where I answer phones all day. The people I work for are really nice. I feel like I already jive with the rest of the team there. So far it's a really good fit and I'm kind of happy because I really only have to deal with people on the phone, which I can personally handle a lot better than I can constantly handling face-to-face for some reason. So I know that sounds weird because I'm a customer service person and I'm on YouTube, but I very much enjoy it. So there was a switch of job, there was a little bit of a financial balancing with switching jobs, and then Comic-Con happened and I just decided to take a break in April because I just had no time. I was way too stressed out. I just needed to take a mental break. I also wanted to take some creative moments and try to see if I want to do some different videos with my channel and kind of branch out into different aspects of things I like, and also if I wanted to do more videos a month. For some reason, I always feel like I never get to do all the videos I want to do in the month because I only do Mondays and Friday uploads. So periodically I might start doing maybe a random Wednesday upload, and eventually if I like how that goes, I might go back to 3 videos a week, which I think I did when I initially started. Let's get started with my April wrap-up. In April, I read 9 books, which was pretty impressive considering the fact that I was kind of busy and stressed out. And a lot of these, again, are attributed to audiobooks. So as always, each month has different challenges. So now I want to add in reading a physical book each month because I find I'm doing way too many audiobooks and not every book I own is available on audiobooks. So I'm putting aside books that don't have audiobooks for books that do have audiobooks. So there's some books on my TBR shelf that I keep putting off. So now I want to make one of my challenges to actually physically read 1 book every month along with the rest of my challenges. So the rest of my challenges are picking up a Christian living or a nonfiction book, a classic, as well as our Coffee Chapters Christian Book Club pick. And I think there was one other one. I don't know. Was it a reread? I have no idea. I forget. I have to look back because, like I said, I haven't been doing this for a while, so now I forget what each of my challenges were. So that's embarrassing. So the first book I finished in April was Ever the Brave by Erin Somerville. I actually finished this at the end of March, but I just included it in my April wrap-up. I had this one on audiobook as well. This is book 2 in the Clash of Kingdoms duology series. There's a companion book coming out as well now. I really enjoy these. These are relatively clean. I've had no issues with these content-wise. The stories are pretty tropey, but at the same time, I enjoy a lot of these fantasy YA tropes. So I really enjoyed the story, and we're following more of the characters. I don't want to give too much away. Also, I read it so long ago, I forget the synopsis. But if you're looking for a clean YA tropey fantasy, I do recommend this one. I just really enjoyed it and really enjoyed the characters, and it had a very interesting take on a love triangle that I found was a little unique. So I did actually enjoy the love triangle in this one as well. Overall, I give it a 4-star rating. It's just got a little too tropey in some spots for me. There was also a moment where like it was still a clean read for me. There's just a moment where you're trying to save somebody from hypothermia, which involved being really close and like bundled but out of wet clothing kind of deal. So it just had some awkward potential there, but nothing really happened with that. So I still would have considered that kind of clean, but there's just that awkwardly trying to keep you alive but having to do it with not as many clothing on kind of deal. So it's kind of awkward more than anything happening. The next book I read was our Coffee Chapters Christian YA Hagenheim book for the month, We are going through the Hagenheim book series up until July. The Orphan's Wish comes out in June, but The Orphan's Wish is our July book, which is book 8 in the Hagenheim book series. So our book for April was The Princess Spy. This is one of my favorites out of the series, and I think it's just because the Golden Braid and the Silent Songbird really connect and bring all of these stories together, which is why I like The Princess Spy. I also really enjoy Margaretta's character and just her growth character, and actually all the characters really. So this is one of my favorites. I kept it at a 5-star rating. The audiobooks for these are really good. I'm really glad I found these on audiobook, and I'm enjoying the narrator very much for these. The next 2 books were rereads. I was actually trying to binge read the entire trilogy of the Unblemished trilogy by Sarah Ella, but unfortunately I did not get to Unblemished. It was one of the books that I struggled with having to read a physical book, and I kind of lost interest, and the month got really busy for me, so I didn't get to binge read it or do a review of Unbreakable before the book came out, but I will be doing a review of Unbreakable. I still left Unblemished, I think, at a 4-star rating. I still enjoy this one so far, best out of the trilogy. And Unraveling, I left at a 3-star. I still found it very almost copycat to Once Upon a Time. I was still really annoyed with all of the characters, even Eliana at this point. There's a few things that started to annoy me actually listening to the audiobook that I picked up more than reading it, and that was the description of like sounds and things happening, like bump, shuffle, scrape, ouch, or you know, just little things like that. Just some of the language, the characters' languages that they use, like Eliana's head conversations are really juvenile and teenagery, and I know she's trying to keep true to their age, but it comes out really annoying in an audiobook having read to you, and I'm finding that in the Unbreakable audiobook as well. And just the references again to pop culture got a little over too much, but I think it was mostly the whole description of like that. All I can think about is the example of like bump, shuffle, scrape, ouch is a sentence, or each word was a sentence, and it just got a little too much listening to it as audiobooks was something I picked up with these ones, especially on Unraveling, which is why I left it at a 3-star rating. Next book I picked up was Traitor's Game by Jennifer A. Nelson, and as you can see, I bought it because I originally got it from the library, so sneak peek to my next book haul. I really enjoyed this book. It is, again, super YA tropey, but it's also very clean, and I really just enjoyed the writing style of this author and just really enjoyed the story overall. This is the type of YA fantasy that I'm looking for. It's clean, it's got great characters, it's got all the tropes that I like, even though it does seem kind of like your typical YA fantasy. It just had all of the right boxes ticked off for me, and I really enjoyed it. Again, I listened to this one on audiobook, and I even picked up some more of her books because I just really enjoyed her writing style, her storytelling, and her attention to detail. There's no announcement yet for the rest of the series. I don't even know if the series is called Traitor's Game. I think it is Traitor's Game series, but there's no announcement for book 2 yet or when that's even coming out, and I'm super excited for the rest of the series. This wasn't initially on my TBR, but I saw it all over Bookstagram and BookTube, but nobody was reading it and talking about it, so I definitely wanted to give it a go. Picked it up from my library and then ended up buying it, and you know how that goes. I just end up falling in love with the book. Overall, I only gave it a 4-star rating. It was still super tropey and typical for your YA fantasy, but I like that, so I left it at that. It had some reminiscence of other books, but like I said, I like books like that, so it wasn't like a huge flaw for me. I next listened to the Everland audiobook by Wendy Spinelli. I wanted to reread Everland and Umberland before Ozland came out. I'm also really excited that Hoopla added the audiobook for Ozland, which I have not picked up yet, but I have it ordered and it is on its way. But I didn't get to Umberland because Hoopla only lets me borrow 2 titles a month, and I borrowed Traitor's Game off of there as well. I really enjoy the audiobooks for these. They were really well done audiobooks. It kind of connected some of the pieces of the story that I felt were missing the first time I read it through, so I really enjoyed having it read to me via audiobook. The narrators are really good. Her voice and narration of the different characters was really well done, so I'm excited for Umberland and Ozland. For my classic this month, I picked up Persuasion by Jane Austen. I had a very lovely audiobook from Audible, the Audible exclusive for Persuasion, and I loved this book. I only give it a 4-star rating. It's not my favorite Jane Austen so far. I still really like Northanger Abbey, which isn't a lot of other people's favorites, but I really enjoyed this. I hated how Anne's family treated her, but I loved Anne as a character. I loved Captain Wentworth. The romance in this is beautiful and endearing and just has a very good cast of characters. The exasperating, annoying characters weren't in your face like Emma was, so it wasn't as drive me crazy as Emma was, but I really, really enjoyed Persuasion. This is probably up there as one of my favorite Austens, but we'll see after I finish Sense and Sensibility and Pride and Prejudice. Overall, I gave it a 4-star rating. Like I said, great writing, great characters, thoroughly enjoyed it. The next book I picked up was the book I actually physically read, and that is A Loyal Heart by Jodi Headland. This one was that shocker book that I didn't know what was coming out because it was a self-indie published book. The cover for this book I found out was done by Emily at Create, Explore, Read, and she did a fantastic job at this beautiful cover and also matching the rest of the cover with the rest of the series, and I loved it. Now, this follows Sir Ulrich, who was the brother of Lord Bennet in For Love and Honor, so they do mention Sabine and Lord Bennet, which was really exciting to have that connection. So this follows a Lady Olivia and Sir Ulrich, and Ulrich is kind of working off his debt that we find out he accumulated in this book. So Lady Olivia and her sister do get captured by Lord Ulrich and taken to Lord Pitt to be held for ransom so that their father can swear loyalty to the King of England because he's into some bad deals. Lady Olivia is juggling loyalty between family and loyalty between what is right, and there is a really good angsty romance and really funny banter. I loved this book. I loved how it connected. I loved how it continued. I read it very fast, even though I haven't physically been reading books very fast. This one I think I read in 2 or 3 days, which is pretty fast for me. Once I got into it, I just couldn't put it down. It was very exciting to read. And like I said, the banter was super hilarious, and I even loved just the relationship together was perfect. Overall, I gave it a 5-star rating. It was our Coffee Chapters and Christian YA new feature for the month of April, and I will be doing a live show for that. If you guys have any comments of what days, weekends, evenings, mornings work best for you guys, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to do a live show where more of you are involved. I don't have Melanie with me for this month as well, but I would like more of you guys to join me for a live show, so let me know in the comments below of what kind of works best for live shows for you guys, and with time zones, I will try my best to make that happen. The last book I listened to in April, because I also had an audiobook with this, was a book where I stepped out of my comfort zone. This is a Christian adult contemporary fiction, and I don't read a lot of adult fiction or contemporary fiction. But this one I made an exception for, as it involves 2 sisters, one of which had grown up with a heart condition and had just gotten a heart transplant. I thought that kind of resonated with me, having grown up with a heart condition myself, and these 2 sisters take this great bucket list trip around the world, and I kind of wanted to see what that was about. I loved this. This reminded me so much of my younger sisters and mine relationships. Not a lot of things or a lot of the personalities did, but there was moments where I'm reading this or listening to this and I'm like, yeah, she would have totally done that and I would have totally done that in that situation. So there's a lot of moments that reminded me of my younger sisters and mine relationship that made me laugh and also made me cry, because this book definitely made me cry. This character resonated so much with me, of holding yourself back and living in fear, of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, making dreams happen for yourself, and also trusting and relying on God when you've gotten through so many difficult things and you kind of get to the point where you're like, does God really even care, or is he just really good at taking things away from me? And I really resonated with this character for those moments, and there was moments where I cried because it made me think of a lot of things I was dealing with at the time. So A+ for a really well written book, a really relatable book, and I gave it a 5-star rating because, like I said, I resonated so much with this book. Also, the romance in this book was super ridiculously cute, and I loved it very, very much. It was so well done. I loved both of the men featured in this book and was really excited about the romance in here. It was just hit me right in the feels as well. These are all the books I read in April. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have read any of these or what your favorite book for April was. And also let me know down below what works for you guys for a live show, because I would like to do a live show where we can all hang out together. So So let me know that as well in the comments below. I'm excited to be back, guys. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.